Who they say they're going to vote for. Let's see. I hope everyone else knows what they're going to, and I hope Jasmina and Nicole's alliance isn't as strong as we think it is. We'll see.
What are your thoughts?
You gotta walk us through this one.
I mean, I've been planning this since I keep wanting to say day one, but it was always blindside Elle and blindside Nicole. I said this time I don't have the extra vote luxury I had planned for it, but I think they all believe my bluff that I still have them. So. And you are now another member of our jury. I'm so happy. I'm really so much less stressful.
Wait, so there is down this final two? No, there isn't. Please tell me you're lying.
In this challenge that Taylor has a 1 in 3 shot, not that he's in the final five.
Just make sure I understand everything. I first grab these 2 cups and do the flip thing 5 times. Then the unscramble with these. Do I get a pencil?
You have a pencil, one of those right there.
Okay. And then I knock those down, correct?
2, 1, go.
Am I doing this right? Like this is how.
You're doing good.
I'm gonna fall down. On top of this, I'm already calling it. There's no way that was real.
That counted.
Oh my gosh!
Starting before. What's the scramble?
The scramble should be on the back one, might go down.
What?
I thought you had that one.
Yeah.
Yes! Okay, word scramble. Y-O-U-A-R-E-U-R. So what's left is, wait, Y-O-U-A-R-E. So what's left is an O, a Y, F-L-E-S-A-N, and it's 4 letters each. Safe, yeah. You are safe. S-A-F-E-Y-O-L-N? You're safe long.
I have no idea.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa.
You are long safe? Is it your long safe?
It is not.
E. S-A-F-E. We have an O, we have a Y, we have an L, and okay, only you are safe.
Yes.
That is correct.
I'm so tired. My brain is just like dead trying to think of words. Oh god. Okay.
The survivor fatigue is setting in.
No, I know, for real. But I know at least one of them already got it.
What? That one. What? It's still there.
What? Oh!
It fell, but it landed fine.
I got
Time. 4:39.
You guys can call it. You guys can call it.
What?
Jasmina won, you can call it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. It was just a flip. Oh, it was just only in stage. Oh, it's your time. Oh.
I just started the like.
Oh, you
words.
didn't finish?
No. I literally.
Yeah, I just.
So, like, one of you
Two cameras.
Do you want to go?
I'll go first. I'll go back here. I'll fill this one. Did this strategy timer start?
Okay, so Jasmina told me that she would take me if she won, which I want to trust Jasmina, but I feel like I've done a lot more than Gail. Like, I have my list of things that I've done. I feel like it wouldn't be smart to take me. Obviously, I'd like it for me to be taken. I feel like from like a personal perspective, like the jury should vote for me.
Really hard to put when you decide that couldn't vote. Say the same thing about how I'm a stronger player and stuff like that. But I think
Of the gameplay, I feel like I played a really great game and like had a part in keeping myself safe while like looking forward in the future. I don't feel like Gail would be able to beat her. So I feel like, yeah, because right now I feel like the only people that would vote for Gail is Derek and Elle. If she was smart, yeah. But
do you think she's gonna keep her word to you?
Well, we do have a video of her handshaking me, saying that she was us too. So
Wait, I actually
we can prove she's a liar. Like when you wanted me to stay, like obviously I didn't. Whole happy there for me, and I didn't want to betray you like that. So yeah, I think when I. Obviously, I would like to be.
Honestly, I'm worried. I don't feel confident because I know I've played a strong game so far, and I've really tried really hard to play a strong game, and it makes me worried that she'll see that. I tried to play the fact that Tabor has also played a strong game and been in the minority most of the time. I tried to play that. When it was after the swap, I made sure that I knew who the other people were voting for as well to make sure that my name wasn't on the chopping block.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else I can do, but I'm sure he made a very good, convincing argument. But I just have to hope.
Yeah.
Because I think he knows what his name. It's just if you take him with you, there's a higher chance that he may not. And I think, honestly, I'd rather see you win than him win. So I think.
So what I'm hearing is if I vote you out, I have your jury vote. Okay.
But
Thank you.
not what you mean.
Thank you.
Maybe not. I was about to say.
I'm such a
hold on.
Wait, I actually feel bad for that one. I do actually feel bad for that one.
I think you'll have a higher chance of winning if you keep me in compared to if you keep him in. Because I think neither of us have an organized argument yet. And he does.
That's true.
But
That's
I think
true.
it could definitely be an advantage.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really just his word against mine, whatever.
I've been pretty decided. Not saying like I'm a 100% alliance sticker, but I think Tabor is more likable than Gale. But I think Tabor doesn't realize how much of the game I influenced to keep him in here.
Yeah, there's only one vote. It's Jasmina. Oh yeah. Or you can say it. I'll vote.
Am I writing down who I want with me in the final two, or who I want out?
You're writing who you look to send out of the game.
Who I want gone?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like this is much more clearly the best thing for my game, and I don't feel bad because even though I love you, I know you have also played a game fully for your self-benefit, so you get it. Totally respect you as a player and a person, but always have control over Tabor. Low-key, so I want to
Out.
Yes, this person is out, and it's not Jasmine.
I'm
It's
like
one of you
actually
two.
nauseous. I would understand. I might throw up.
Sorry, guys.
The final person eliminated from Survivor FSU. Gale.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But yeah.
No, I get it. Don't worry. You're good.
So our final two in Survivor FSU is Tabor and Jasmina.
Woo!
One person from each original tribe.
I feel like y'all know most of the moves I made, but you don't know a lot of the motives why. So I hope y'all ask me a lot about that. I've had a lot of foresight in this game. Like I said, I was a religion major. I'm not. I'm a psych major. Majors didn't seem to play a role in this game, but I had that line at the beginning. I made sure Jaden wasn't my wallpaper before I got here. Like, your girl had these things thinking because I wasn't planning on revealing we had a relationship. Only one who made it in a pre-existing relationship, let alone with a long-term boyfriend. I don't think Tabor would have been here because of me. I first said I wanted to align with him because there was a split between Tabor and Abby, right? And I thought, well, if I'm part of this vote, I'm gonna guaranteed have an enemy against me for whoever doesn't go home because I was a part of a target for both of them, right? And I thought Abby had a relationship with Elle, so I wanted to target her. So I had Nicole and I tell Tabor that we were gonna flip our votes from Abby, or from him to Abby to get his trust. I then faked and told Elle and mouthed to her during tribal council I fucked up as damage control to make it seem like I wasn't flipping on
Time's up.
alignments. Okay. And I still got him to flush his idol.
Hi, my name is Tabor. So I would like to say that initially, from the very get-go, I saw that there was a power duo on the other side. Me and Alex, Abby, and Jaden, all four saw that Jasmina and Nicole were kind of not in charge necessarily, but they definitely had a little bit of say on what was going on. So I knew in my head that if we either didn't get them out, then I was going to have to in turn join them. So when I saw the opportunity to join them whenever it came down to me and Abby, I did choose to join them. I also was able to remain loyal. I never once put down Abby's name, and I never once put down Jaden's name because I knew that I had a pact with them, and I never had to put down Alex's name because you got voted off when I wasn't there. So I was still able to remain loyal to the people that I wanted to remain loyal to because I genuinely try to be a loyal person. I was able to find and use the first hidden immunity idol, and while using it might have not been at the best time, I knew that if there was a chance I could have been voted out, I needed to use it just because I never knew what anybody's thinking, and obviously we never knew what anybody was thinking. And then also I know that I did have a part in a few major vote outs like Elle, Kyle, Derek, and Nicole. I was able to kind of, I wouldn't say orchestrate, but I did bring those ideas to a few people and then able to get enough votes to get those people out. So I feel like that was very beneficial to my game.
Okay.
Does anyone have any pressing questions that wants to go first?
I just want to know one quick question. How many tribals did you hold your idol for?
Julia, Ashley, I used it during Abby's vote. How many votes did we have in here?
You found it right away.
Yeah, no, I found it before we even had
Before our first challenge.
So so Andrew's, Julia's, Ashley's, and then I want to say so only like 3 or 4. Yeah. Let me tell you, it was in my shoe during lunch. I literally had to go to the bathroom to readjust it. It was like wrapping around my toes. It was awful. Yeah, it was.
Question. You mentioned that you were involved in a certain number of votes. I do feel like, from my perspective, you were pretty heavily involved in Kyle's vote. I'm kind of iffy on L's, so I'd like you to convince me about your involvement in L's. And then on top of that, you mentioned that you didn't necessarily orchestrate those. So was there anything that you did orchestrate and that you weren't just simply a piece?
So I don't want to say that I orchestrated or didn't necessarily orchestrate, just because I don't want to take full credit, because obviously it was a team job to have people need to make up their minds and
Specifically, you say, not to interrupt you, but you say that you were instrumental in the L vote.
Yes.
Who was involved in that, and what was your position in that?
Yes. So I knew that Gail, Elle, and Derek were all 3 working together, and that I had sensed some tension between me and Elle. We actually never got to talk. So I was able to talk to Abby, and I talked to Jaden, and then I was at that point kind of.
I was out at this point.
You were out?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the vote after.
Okay.
This is the vote after Abby.
So then it was Jaden, and then I talked to Jasmina and Kyle and Nicole, and then we were able to.
So would
talk
you
to
say
them.
you started this conversation?
The L conversation I did not start, no, but
Who
I
started
was.
it? Who started it?
When did you talk to me?
Yes. Okay.
It was me.
I don't remember you talking to Kyle during the L
I
vote.
don't
I
remember
feel
that either.
like what solidified the L vote was Jasmina and Nicole right before tribal council in the very last seconds pulled Kyle to the side and told Kyle to switch his vote to L. That's
Jasmine
what-
and Nicole also pulled me to the side.
So I was with Elle the
Told me to
whole
vote out.
negotiation time, and we go back, come here, and they last second pulled me up. and said
Because
vote
they
out.
were.
I'll give you props for that. I had no idea it was coming, and I'm very proud of that one.
But I feel like that's Jasmina's to claim potentially.
Okay.
I think you were involved in it, but I feel like maybe you weren't as heavy-handed
Yeah,
as
and
you
that's
said.
one that that's why I didn't want to take full claim for it. I knew about it, going into whenever we were talking, I knew that I was going to vote for L, and so I just.
So would you potentially say, rather than saying you were heavily involved in it, it's more of you were on the right side of the vote for all of those?
Yeah.
That's.
Is there anything on your resume that you can say for sure this was my move and my move only? I was the one that orchestrated this. I was the one.
Definitely the Derek and Nicole votes. Derek and Gail were trying to get me to vote out one of the girls, by Jasmine and Nicole, sorry. And I was in my head saying, I know for a fact that Derek can outbeat Gail and Nicole can outbeat Jasmine, because I felt like they were both in the lead during this point. And I said, let's get out Derek. And by saying that, I was able to remain loyal to them. And then I brought the idea to Gail and
Are you
Jasmine.
referencing the swing of us 5 left?
What do you mean swing votes?
Where it was me and Nicole, Gail and Derek and you.
Mhm.
Is that the one you're talking
Yeah.
about? So I used my extra vote during that round to solidify that I didn't need him in that vote for Derek to get out.
Did you have to play it anyway?
No, I was wanting to save it for the final 4. Didn't have
Okay.
it. I bluffed and told everyone I still had it.
I was gonna ask a question. In the choice where you were deciding between me or Nicole, why did you choose Nicole over me?
To vote her
To vote out, yeah.
I've been planning to vote her out since the beginning because Tony's my favorite player, and I felt like him voting out Trish at the very end was the quintessential dream move of how he got to win. I feel like she's a way better sweet talker than me. I still think I had more of the ideas when we were talking together, but she had just as much of a part at executing the ideas. I just feel like with her out, I get all the thunder for both of our moves.
So going back to my vote, what was the specific reason or reasons why you voted me out? This is
I tried voting you out multiple tribals. Which one?
The one where you actually got voted out.
Out of everyone here, you are the one who will most likely have continuing friendships after this game. I felt like I played a way more strategic game than you, but you had a lot of advantages. You won a lot of immunities. Plus, again, I think you had the friendship key that could have put you over the edge of my strategic game. It just made the most sense. I also trusted that Tabor would vote with me more than you because he had been voting with me, which is all felt correct.
I voted before he voted with me there.
For Kyle, yeah. You can check my confessional where I say I'm not playing the extra vote to save Kyle because I don't care if he goes home. Because I also wanted to keep him because I had heard that on his own accord he was planning to gun for Kyle. My plan was to go Derek and then Kyle and then Nicole.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, if I keep him, he's most likely to swing with me and not snitch on Nicole and Kyle to blindside Kyle. It didn't happen. The order got switched. But I let that vote happen because I knew out of the two people, I was planning on having them both go out anyways.
For your vote, I knew that you had already had 2 individual immunities, and like she said, everybody had loved you. Like, I feel like if you were sitting in one of these chairs, you definitely would win, especially up against one of us too. So I knew that getting you out would be the right thing. I also knew that if I were to vote with Jasmine and Nicole in the future, that I would show them my loyalty, because at that point I was in the middle. Like, I had you two and I had you two, and I knew if I voted one of them out, I would have you two on my side to get the other one out. If I voted one of you two out, I would have one of them on my side to get the other one out. So at that point I was in the middle, but I just thought in my head, well, I need to get Nicole and Derek out, and at this point I knew that if you were gone, Gail would be an open number and she would most likely listen to me and what I had to say than listening to them too. So by getting you out of the way, I was able to bring Gail in to get Nicole out.
Not to hop in here, but all that I am hearing you say is just how you jumped in on Jasmina and Nicole's votes. That is what I am hearing you say on all of this.
On Nicole's vote?
On Jasmina and Nicole's votes.
They're strategic.
Their strategic plans, like you just got in on them.
Okay.
So when I'm looking at you two, it is seeming like you are adding on to her resume. I think that you are a player that had a lot of great ideas and a lot of great strategy that just was not executed well.
Okay.
And that is what I am getting out of this conversation.
I feel that I had these ideas and I was able to mention them to certain people, or even having multiple ideas and multiple conversations with several people. Like, I was able to talk to Derek and Gail for some instances, able to talk to Jasmina and Nicole for some instances. But I also feel like voting with them, the times that I voted with them, and voting with Derek and Gail for the times I voted with them, was not to kind of like hide behind their vote, but to show loyalty so that I would be able to be brought further in the future. And I feel that if I had switched sides more times, that I wouldn't be in the chair that I'm at now, because people wouldn't have been able to trust me enough to bring me forward.
You played like a low-key game,
Yeah.
manipulating events, but not necessarily being the mastermind behind it all.
Okay.
I want to give you a chance to like defend yourself, because they're saying like you didn't do anything, but I keep hearing the jury say that you played a big part in my vote out. So can you tell me what happened there?
So I wrote down Kyle's name because I wanted to stay loyal to Jaden. So I did not write down Jaden's name, even though I knew Jaden was going home. So me writing down Kyle's name wasn't putting Kyle in jeopardy. I knew that Jaden was still going to go home, so that was fine. Well, then Kyle started coming for me in that challenge. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a little bit of an issue. So that's when the next time that the vote came around, and I was able to talk to Gail and Derek. Gail trusted me, and she told me that she had her second vote. And then I was able to talk to Gail and Derek, and then we were able to get a few votes towards Kyle. And
Tabor,
Yes.
when you tribe swapped, there was a lot of confusion and worry. Can you tell me how you were able to secure your position on this tribe? Back anything up, Abby?
So whenever I swapped over with Abby, whenever it was initially Ruby Diamond, me and Abby had like first stated like let's us two work together, and I was fully on board with that. And at that time, like me and Alex were also talking, and me and Jaden were talking. So hoping that you would pull through with the swap was very crucial for you to pull through. But I'm really glad you were able to come through. But so me and Abby kind of being on the outskirts, I had sensed obviously Nicole and Jasmina since the very beginning, and seeing Kyle there, that question mark was like physical threat / mental threat. Like you were like very.
We
like,
didn't
I was
know
like,
where you were.
Yeah, I was like he looks like he could dominate at some things, but he seems very shy. So like
what did the star mean? The star meant threat.
It meant
Yeah.
physical threat.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
that's what black is supposed to signify.
Yeah. Black meant threat.
Yeah, like dominant or whatever.
Yeah.
So whenever I came over with Abby, I was like, me and her were very worried. But then whenever Nicole and Jasmina did come up to me and they were like, hey, let's like I'm gonna want to work with you. And so I kind of at that point it was really the new
When did
the
that
new
happen?
Renegades. It was like right before the first vote. Or right before they started voting. Like we had like worked.
Was I still in at that point?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But we had never actually voted separate because we kept winning. We kept winning
That's fair.
competitions. So I still never voted against you
Sure.
because we never lost the competition.
I feel like Tabor's been taking a lot of heat
Sure.
right now,
Yes.
so I just wanted to even it out real quick. So my first question is, you in your opening little statement, you mentioned that you were like involved in the flushing of Tabor's idol, and you were kind of claiming that as like your own move.
All L's on the splitting between him and Abby and flushing his idol.
I think Kyle was the one that said let's flush the idol, and she made up the actual numbers.
which
But yeah,
was, which like
What-
Derek, Elle, and I talked
Whoever
about.
it was,
Yeah, I
I
thought
did not
I
have
had
that
some
idea.
involvement with like the number.
so in the opening statement, why did
It
you
was
try to say
definitely
that?
Because then when whomever it was, I'll say both, had the idea to flush the idol, they were like, then I was like, well, he needs to feel like he's in danger for that to happen. And then Elle goes, well, who's gonna make him feel that way? And I go, me, because I wanted to do damage control. So I was the one who went up to him and went,
You executed.
and
it.
I was like, oh my gosh, they want you out, but I want you to stay. So I'm telling them I'm voting for you, but I'm voting for Abby, right? And I was fully onto that. And I had that completely saved. And then I waited till during tribal when people started voting, and I saw him getting more paranoid. He was like, he had already trusted me so much, he asked for my advice, should I play it? And I was like, yeah, I think you should play it. So I've had no votes against me, but I've lied to every single one of you to your face, besides you because I never played with you, because I never played with you, and you because I didn't need to. But everyone else,
Wow.
That's real.
but to everyone else, like even to Andrew, very first vote, lied to his face that I wasn't gonna vote for him.
Tabor is the only reason you didn't seem to vote. Because I was gunning for you at Final Five.
True.
And Tabor is the one that saved you from
That's
receiving
true.
a vote.
That's
He
true.
did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say you would have received a vote if it wasn't for
Advocation.
Tabor.
Nicole was the
And I have
big
my second little quick question.
Yes.
In your opening statement, you mentioned that like going into the game, you didn't want people to know that you and Jaden were dating, so you like literally changed your background and everything. I did the same thing. That was my thought process. But like me and Kyle, we kept up with that. We didn't want people to know because we knew we would make us a target. And like in your case, you were saying like, yes, as someone from a couple here, you managed to end up there. But why did you all of a sudden right away tell people the truth? Because you immediately threw Jaden under the bus, and he had a target immediately.
Because he didn't tell
Because he didn't tell his tribe. So it completely screwed over Jaden's game.
Right.
Because it made him unloyal.
Yeah.
So like what made you change your mind to do that instead of sticking with like what your original thoughts were? Because I know like you're saying you like lied to a lot of people, but like in that case you told the truth, and I think it actually
And there
hurt.
were a lot of other times I used to truth for my well-being. Like before I answer that, I just want to say truth can sometimes be very useful. When Abby and Taylor came to Nicole and I, when it was us five with Kyle after a tribe swap, and they were like, Kyle's a physical threat. I was honestly like, I'm comfortable with Kyle, and then Nicole and I talked, and we were like, we should tell Kyle that they were thinking this, just so he knows we have his back, and they did not have his back, right? So like, truth was there. I told them when I also found the the
seal vote.
additional vote. Like I could have kept that to myself. I was alone when I found that, right? But it was very important for me to tell them enough so that we were always the main triangle.
So I guess
question,
my
I'm
like
so sorry.
the backup to the whole Jaden thing is like
I'll
by
answer.
you choosing to tell the truth, you threw him under the bus and potentially ruined his game. But then the side thing of that is like, do you think it was a risk that paid off? Because it could have gone totally, completely differently. When you chose to give that information, they could have immediately voted you off instead and said, we want to break up her couple. So you think it's something that hurt or helped your game? Like, was it a loyalty or trustworthy thing versus like, you know?
I was going to say.
The main reason why I flipped at the last second is I didn't feel confident that Jaden would keep the secret.
So you're doing pre-damage control.
Oh yeah. If I felt for sure he wouldn't say anything, I wouldn't have said anything. Did not trust that. So, right, I knew whoever shared the truth first, the other one would, like you said, and that's what happened to him.
Which me and him coming in, we were very clear, like, we are not telling anyone.
Right, but people knowing he was my boyfriend and seeing I was willing to vote him out to stay with my alliance helped me a lot. Because otherwise it would have seemed like a threat. Because I legitimately meant it when I was like, oh, I don't really find him threatening, so I don't think there's a reason.
But also, to be completely fair and completely honest here, the tribe swap saved you because you were going to be the next vote. there was a,
that's true.
You got some luck.
You got completely saved.
We were going to vote you out
Tribe swap,
because your boyfriend.
Because they found out.
If we had lost the water balloon challenge, it would have been you.
I was going to say,
But we didn't lose it.
Yeah,
if you lost, it was between
So it wasn't
you two.
even the tribe swap saved because we kept winning anyway.
Well, no, but if there was another like immunity challenge that maybe we lost it.
Okay.
But it was just to be completely fair
I'll
that
accept
was.
I remember that. That is true.
I think you saying that you were taking credit for making me flush out the idol. I just want to say, I already had knowledge that Elle had knew about the idol and that she was trying to split the vote because I was talking to Jaden, trying to cover my tracks, being like, hey, did you tell anyone? It was like, yeah, mentioned it to Elle. And I was like, wait, what's she doing? And then he had told me that in turn she was trying to split the vote and get me to flush out my idol. So I had already had prior knowledge to it, and I was already thinking about using it before you
But
did
you
come to me.
weren't gonna go home because Nicole and I flipped our split. Like I knew you weren't going home.
Who told you that I was planning on?
Jaden.
Yeah.
Understand.
But
Oh, because I literally went up to him and like voted him, and he looked me dead in the eyes and went, no.
man. Period.
It's Tabor and Jasmina.
Wait, are we writing who we want to win?
Yeah.
This is a closer decision. This is a tougher decision than I actually thought it was going to be. I went into this final tribal thinking that I was for sure voting for one person, and I think that I gotta give the other person props. They made a compelling argument.
I'm blanking on names.
The votes. Last word. I'm anticipating the votes. I finally get my name down.
First vote, Jasmina. Second vote, Jasmina. Third vote, Jasmina. Fourth vote, Jasmina. Fifth vote, Jasmina. Sixth vote, Jasmina. Seventh vote. The winner of Survivor FSU.
feel like you definitely deserve to win. You played such a good game since literally, not, I was gonna say day one, but since like hour one, you did so good. So very proud.
I love you, baby. You got this.
I'm voting for Jasmina. I needed a better argument from Tabor. I said that going in, and she just had a lot more moves that she made, and I liked the way that she was able to defend her moves and also flip the whole exposing her boyfriend Jaden into like being something that could actually help her in the game and build loyalty. So I think she's gonna win.
Like everything, I think she just had a good game.
Girl, I knew you were a threat from hour one. And you know what? Good for you. Insane that you got this far. Insane you got away from and took all of Nicole's accomplishments. I am proud to have you as my survivor.
Played a killer game, and you absolutely wowed me, and you won me over when you told me that you didn't care if I went home. That was a great move. Good job.
And for the person who's the only reason I lost this game, so Jasmina, you deserve it, 100%. So.
You had a big hand in why I got voted out, and I respect it.
I respect the lies, and I respect how you're always dying for me. You saw me as a threat, and you made sure I got out, and I respect that. Proud of you, really hope you win.
I wish I could have got to play with you. Congratulations. I'm assuming it's congratulations. I think it's, there seems to be a majority.